Good morning, and this is a Wednesday edition of the Morning Digest, Elevate Television Advancing Kingdom Lifestyle. Your host, Moses Muiruri. And today, we're going to be having a great, a conversation. We are talking about, just riding out there. They say if you're stressed, if you are under pressure, you just take a bike ride. You'll be well in a few. So, but before we get into it, please remember our drill. The link is already out on Facebook and on YouTube. Please pick it up and send it on your WhatsApp, on your status. Upload it everywhere. Let's talk about this. We are talking about riding for a cause. My guest is in the house. I mean, you'll be amazed. A great guest today, and we're going to be having a wonderful conversation. Remember this: you need to like our Elevate TV page on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on X. Please do that so that we can give you prompts every time we have something good for you. And I tell you what, we always do have something good. Sometimes you can also comment and say this is what you would want, and we'll look into it because we are here to do content for you. Karibu Mbeche.
Asante sana.
Hii ndio ile elevate tunasikianga sasa.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.
I tell you, all right. Look at that camera. Introduce yourself. We kick it off.
My name is Samuel Mbeche. I'm an optometrist by profession, as well as I'm an adventure biker. I also play rugby.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. Basically that.
You're a man of many hats.
Yeah.
I will not say your age.
No,
I won't.
Oh, you won't say my age. Okay.
I won't unless you say it. I mean, you're too young for that. I tell you, most of us are looking forward. We are saying when we grow up, we start riding. We start riding. Yeah. It's amazing to have you here. I think this is it's a great opportunity just to talk to you, optometrist. I mean, what do you do?
So, my day starts by just waking up, no more preparing your day. I'll sign in into our medical clinic. So it entails clocking patients and knowing what they are facing, what their issues are, what their challenges are, in regards to eye care. But it's not limited to eye care, it's actually the whole body, considering eyes are actually in your body. So you can never just, seclude them. So that's what I do. Apart from that, I also have routines. Being a rugby player, so I usually wake up, prepare, and sometimes I have gym sessions or morning running sessions. At times, it's more stretches only. I'm an adventure rider as well, so I plan my rides as well. So, yeah, basically that.
When did you start all these things? Okay, after school, but the riding, the game, the rugby?
So riding apparently actually started while I was in college. So you see, it wasn't big or very much. Okay, we owned a motorcycle when I was young, but I used to just pause, just take pictures, and so I have actually very many photos when I was young. But so when I was in college, you have to move from one place to another. So my friends used to do boda as a side hustle as a student now. So I think I gained confidence until, I could train in the field. He was my teammate as well. So I could go, borrow a bike, train on the field, blah, blah. And then sometimes, now on higher basis, I could hire it and, do errands and bring it back. Yeah. But I never knew really I could go into, like on the road seriously and, be riding for long mileages. Until I came to Nairobi. So when I got a job in Nairobi, I realized most of the times when you're using, cars or public means like matatus, you actually get late. So sometimes you could actually hop on a boda.
Yes.
Just to get on time.
Yes.
So I found myself doing it a lot until I was like, why can't I get my own motorcycle?
Yeah, you're right.
And that's how I got my motorcycle, the first motorcycle.
I don't want to ask you the moral, I follow bikes, so we'll talk that later. Talk to me about your background. How did you come up, was it optometrist? Why that?
So while in high school, that's when I started playing rugby. I got an injury related to the eyes. So someone actually, stamped on my face with the boots. So I was in Nairobi school, so I was admitted to a sanatorium. It's the name for the clinic.
Yeah.
So while in the sanatorium, the guy was kind of clueless what I was facing. So it was just he could just give me random talks like, this injury looks bad and you may need surgery. So, and the school covers so little, the rest will need to come from your pocket. I was like, oh. So I asked him, what am I actually having, or what was the issue? He had no idea, just knows it's an injury and it's a serious injury. So later on I realized this guy was a basic or just a general practitioner. And that is the kind of services that are, frequented in our health practices. Someone is general, and then they kind of receive all complaints from all fields, and mostly that's why you find some misdiagnosis, because not all receive referrals, because you need a referral to someone who's a specialist for them to actually tell you exactly what you're facing and what you actually need to do. But in this case, this person is clueless, and I'm still kept in the sanatorium, So later on when you study, you realize. So I wanted to really know about eyes,
Okay.
So after high school, I was actually going to do engineering. So I was actually admitted to an engineering school in Nairobi, University of Nairobi. And then I saw a scholarship opportunity for talent, and it was rugby. And it was in one university in Western Kenya, that is Masinde Muliro University.
Yeah.
Apparently it's the only one university offering optometry in the whole country.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually under Brian Holden Vision Institute, which is an Australian university. Yeah. So I did apply, did some research, and was like, yeah, this is it. This is the chance to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope you're not one of those striking.
No.
Okay, tutarudi hapa. The idea, okay. Now, you work, is it business or you're employed?
So at the moment I'm employed. So I do charity on the side.
The side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, me, I know you for charity.
Yes, yes.
And know that charity thing, huh? So how do you do it? You raise funds, then you treat people's eyes.
Yes. So mostly, through my hobbies. So I've actually done charity or eye care awareness via rugby and via motorcycling.
Yeah.
So most people have known about motorcycling, but I've been out there in the rugby fraternity trying to encourage people to use rugby eyewear. I actually did my undergraduate research in rugby eyewear. I was the first person to get the only rugby eyewear in the country from Italy. Wow. It was donated by the Italian company, which is the only authorized company to produce the rugby eyewear.
Wow. Yeah. What is the eyewear? Sometimes we use big English.
It's a goggle. So it's a goggle to offer you protection, but rugby.
Yes.
So when you fall, not all eyewear will be safe on your eyes or your head. So this company called Raleri in Italy is the only one that was allowed because they passed the tests. So this thing has to be more flexible, safe for your eyes, and be able to even accommodate prescription inserts for people who wear spectacles. Yeah.
Wow. It's interesting how you do your... I came to hear about you through cycling. Say there's this guy who cycles, raises money, and and I said, that's how I got your number, by the way. I called, I said, I want to see this guy. And in this Kenya, Kenya, we live in a place, even if you want to know the president, there's somebody who knows the president, who knows someone, who knows someone, who knows someone.
Yeah.
So someone who needs, so I'm 3 clicks away. And I was told, no, don't even worry. A call was made, ngoja kidogo. Ngoja tu saa hiyo. How do you balance this thing?
I will say
3. Okay, let's put it 3.
Yeah, I mean everything works. I've been I don't know. I think once you want to do something, you actually do it. Because when I wake up in the morning, my mind knows I need to think about my game in the weekend. Yeah. So for the game on the weekend, I have to think about training. So I have maybe a gym session in the morning, very early in the morning before I go to work. And then in the evening, I have to plan how I'll get myself to the training session.
Yeah.
To work, to ride, to work and to training, I'm riding.
You're riding, yeah.
You know, everything just works.
It works out very well. Let me ask you, what is your longest ride you've ever done?
The most recent ride I did, which was 13,000 kilometers across 10 African countries.
Sure.
Yeah. After 3 years of riding, I mean, yeah.
That's Africa. 13 African countries.
10 African countries, 13,000 kilometers.
Sponsored or self-sponsored?
Self-sponsored.
Gee.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wow. How do you raise your money that way?
So, of course, juggling in through all these activities, and of course I'm working, very hard working.
And I'm saying when you ride, you ride and sponsors give, or do you have an organization, or do you have something that is written up or something? So
this was my first ride. So some people donated to support the cause, which I got some eye care products, to give to the people. But some people had approached, so if I could help them raise funds. So this being my first, I wasn't sure what to do or not to do. So that's why I self-sponsored myself and the few donations that came and did the ride, generally to foster the awareness. But while I was doing the ride, people supported in different ways, different countries, which I could explain. It was so wide, and so. Yeah, basically I was doing mostly on the awareness part, yeah.
So what does your employer say?
No, it was on my annual leave, so nobody lost anything.
It's great. I think at 27 and you're doing that, man.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's to dream. Just dream and do it. Yeah.
Let me just ask one outside. What about your parents? What do they think?
So my parents, I can say they have no issue. And the funny thing, I even never told them I was doing the ride.
Wow.
They just realized I was doing the ride while I was in Botswana. And they all supported. They always support. Even in rugby, when I joined rugby, nobody was in support.
Okay.
They should not hear this. But they were proud of me later on.
Success stories.
Yeah.
When you came back from that trip, what was it like?
It was a relief, honestly, to cross back into the Kenyan borders. It is always nice when you want to do something, but as I said, I had fears. This being a self-sponsored trip, just leaving Kenya, it's I'll say it's an old motorcycle with an old motorcycle. When you have a zero mileage thing, a car or bike, you're sure it'll come back and it's under warranty. This is a bike that is 14 years old. You just hop on it. You're going to South Africa, So I knew my skills were at par because I've ridden outside the country before. I've done the East Africa in 3 days.
Wow.
Previously. So those are the preparations that I'd done before. Okay. But this is a distant place. You usually never know what will happen. On the roads, your bike will break down, you could have an accident. Anything could happen. You could be arrested, you could be hijacked, So my greatest fear was, I knew the bike will do it, but what if it breaks down? So meaning, diverting all the funds to ferry it back, or maybe you don't have enough funds to get it back.
Do you want to tell me, you go all that route without a team?
I was alone. Of course I did preparations. I had plans in case of any, like those things I can handle. I have some mechanical skills. So I carried whatever I needed to carry.
Oh, okay.
But there are things that are past that. Like, for instance, my motorcycle doesn't run on a chain, runs on a shaft.
Oh.
So if this shaft breaks down, it takes like 2 weeks to order, and it's very expensive. It could be maybe the budget of my whole trip, you know.
What I was asking you, you travel alone or you go with a team?
I did alone. I usually do mostly alone.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's to do with the timings, and so my work mostly, I'm situated in, usually our stores are usually situated in malls. It'll be very difficult for me to get an off, even an off day on a weekend, see? So usually I take my off days on weekdays, and that means people are working. The rest of the people are working.
Yeah.
People will be free on weekends to ride. I usually envy them. They'll be riding together and doing stuff, but that doesn't stop me from riding.
Wow.
So on Thursday, I usually take like on Thursdays. You see, that's a very random day. But on a Thursday, I could be up and I could be enjoying myself, you know, in Nanyuki or Mombasa, and I come back alone.
Go sit up, I ask you another one. Sit up, I tell you something.
Okay.
Do you have a social life?
I have a social life.
Huh?
Yeah, I do.
You know, now your dad may be asking, this guy is on the bike, he's in a clinic, he's in the game. Where is he? Where are we going?
No, mine is very stable actually.
Yeah.
I
To
balance
clear
everything. Everything is totally balanced.
But totally balanced.
Yes, I've perfected the art.
Amazing. How do you mentally prepare for all that?
I think rugby has really done a lot in me. I know you have a background in rugby.
Yes, yes, yes.
And in rugby, you train harder than actually the games. And you have to be disciplined for you to actually deliver in the game, in any sport. So when I have something, when I conceive a thought in my brain, on my mind, I'm like, I need to do this thing. It kind of grows in me, and now the urge of doing it grows more than actually the fears. So yeah, and I'm usually like, I can do it. If people have done it, why not me?
I think you have such great resolve, my friend. You need to start motivation speaking now. Huh?
Really?
Did you go back to school to talk to the boys?
Yeah. On my trip, I did some. Yeah, I went to optometry students in Malawi. We had a chat. I do it as well.
Wow.
Even on bikers, I help people buy bikes.
Oh.
The right bikes,
Okay.
right gears.
You know,
yeah.
I'm thinking of a bike. And your friend Banesta, he was here, he told me I must shout out to Banesta.
Yeah, Mbeche, yeah. He's a good guy. They
told me
hosted me in Arusha.
He told me I must get a bike.
You should get a bike. It's actually
I
very...
should stop doing what I'm doing, get a bike. Eh?
Yeah. No, you can. You don't stop.
He's a jolly good
You
guy.
are don't talk,
He's a
yeah.
jolly good guy. And I really like him. We're going to go for a break shortly, but before we do that,
Okay.
I want to ask you, like, in that trip, I'm just thinking, I'm thinking aloud about that trip. You leave Kenya, you're going to nation. So how do you deal with, of course, with your passport, you can pass any place, visas and all that. What do you do with security? Because they get a bit nasty. Seeing you are alone, you can't explain what you're doing.
So...
Or do you have contacts in those nations?
So you make contacts prior.
Okay.
And you get...
And I want you to be a bit practical, because there are somebody there who's thinking maybe I should do a trip.
So actually, let me be specific.
Yes.
Each country get 2 contacts.
Yeah.
At least. Just get 2 contacts. Who probably are bikers or someone who's reliable.
Bikers are good people.
Bikers are good people, exactly. They'll be very excited for you to visit their country or their place.
Yeah.
So get 2 people. Do your own research. When you're making your own route, look at areas and ask people who are in that country or in that location, what is the actual or the actual condition, the actual state of the security.
Yeah.
Even in Kenya, not even outside.
Yes.
Before you go anywhere, just know about the culture. It's very important. That's part of the security.
Yeah.
You could be doing something against their culture, and that could land you in a mess. So do everything, know everything prior, so that when you go there, you actually know, and you'll be updated on the actual, state of activities. But some places are actually good. You'll be told, no, that one, be free. Some countries, honestly, you feel very safe, and you're actually told prior. And some countries, some things you actually never plan. Like I go to Zambia, I won't disclose the person's, but he was a high-end person who just, met me online. Tried avoiding him several times, but this guy was genuine. Meeting him, he was a high state official. He organized like wherever I was passing, the police knew my name in the whole country.
Wow.
So some things happen and you never planned.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you. I think, hey.
You just be doing good things. Good people will follow you.
Out of that ride, what do you pick as the most, your success?
My most success is to be able to, so the success is the attention was diverted to the cause. So the whole ride turned out to be eye care. I found a lot of conversations online, different groups which I never expected, which I was added into, which are very big, and people are talking about eye care. I met people, random people, bikers. We talked about eye care, like it just came naturally, So I found it. I didn't expect it. I thought I was going to do a lot of work to, to foster the awareness.
Wow!
But it worked. With right energies, everything goes on.
Any citing? Some of these big eye care organizations. Did you link up?
So some reached out, but it was too late.
Okay.
But they are open. They're actually talking to me, asking me when I'm doing the next one so we can collaborate, which is a good thing.
Wow, I think that then that's a success. I
Exactly.
think it's important for... Let me ask you, eye care, we are talking about eye care. What are the most common issues with eyes?
So,
apart from hitting them in a rugby pitch.
So the biggest issue we have in Africa generally is avoidable blindness.
Oh.
Leave alone these small things, not being able to see a little bit far, the glare. I think people have been enlightened enough nowadays. People know if I can't see, there's an issue. But actually, those are the things, let's not brush them off, that actually lead to preventable blindness. So, for instance, number one being cataracts. Cataracts, I can explain it as, usually have lenses in our eyes. So it's usually very clear, like a clear glass, for you to be able to see the way we are seeing. But with time, they're made of protein structures. So changes happen, of course, when you're aging. And when they're exposed to steroids, UV, like from the sun, a lot of it, then they change. They now turn into like a paper, like translucent, not clear now, not clear enough. So people tend to think that is it. I'm blind, I can't see. I'm seeing, they call it misty or foggy vision. So they think that is normal and I should live like I'm old. No, you change your lenses, you have your vision well. We have we tend to think about blood pressure, blood sugar, but we have eye pressure.
Oh.
Yes, which we never care to check anytime.
Allah.
And some people wake up in the morning and they can't see. There's something we call glaucoma. Glaucoma is like it eats your vision slowly. So some instance you find someone has a tunnel vision left. Like your vision keeps getting eaten from different sections of the, usually have a whole wide. If I look straight this way, I'm able to see this finger.
Yes.
But now there's someone who can't see it here.
Wow.
So it's related to all like the pressure. When the pressure is too high, it's an indication. Sometimes it could be a factor or a reason for the glaucoma to eat up your vision. So the cells are usually eaten, in the back of your eye. It's usually the cornea and stuff. So those are the things we don't know. So we think today I'm not seeing better, but it's normal. And then all of a sudden it's called a sudden thief of sight. Because you lose sight Suddenly, and that is it.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. So what pressure? Eye pressure. So you need to keep checking it.
Yeah.
How?
So we have 2 ways of checking the eye pressure. There is machines lately can actually do it using puff of air, non-contact. But if you can't find that, you should be able to find even the contact tonometer. It's called a tonometer. It's called tonometry to check the pressure and everything. So yeah, go to an eye care practitioner. The right one will have the right products. The one who's after business and making money to sell you glasses probably won't.
Let me ask you, when you look at people walking, I'm sure people around you, and you think about eye care, what is this thing you feel you will need to tell them?
So you usually see people doing different things wrongly. So apparently because they're not aware, they think it's okay, it's normal, and nothing is happening. So of course you try to communicate something. Some people will take it, some won't. And that is the whole idea of, in our education system, if we had the whole awareness thing, the way we talk about general health or mental health, even when you're talking about health, some things are never spoken about, like eye care.
Yeah, but the way it's true. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't. No, it's very rare.
Actually, it's a silent health department.
The one thing that actually pains me most is kids growing and the parents not knowing what to do. Because after the growth phase, you can do nothing. I'm sure you've seen a person when they look at you, an eye turns in or out. So you think they're looking this way, but they're looking at you. So one eye looks at you, the other one looks out. Most cases, there's some which are muscle related, the growth with muscle, which can be corrected. Another one could be due to an error, like a refractive error. I can't see well. So what happens is the brain assumes one eye uses one. That's why you see one doing funny movements. It's a lazy eye. It's a condition called amblyopia. So because it wasn't sorted early when they were young. So during the growth phase, if the brain assumes, leaves it out. We're going to use this eye.
What you have spoken is very, very, very profound. I remember, personally, my grandmother had an issue with the eyes. And for her, she had resigned. She's blind and all this. And somebody just suggested, no, let's go have them checked. What's the issue? If they are blind, they are blind. They went and found his cataract.
Yeah, it's usually the culprit. And most people here are living the life with the condition. Most people. And when you can't see, the quality of your life is reduced, honestly. If I can't see my grandkids, if I can't see what I worked for, you feel like the world should end. Or my life should end.
Mbeche, hold it there. I want us to go for a break. Okay. When we come back, we're going to look at some of those preventative measures.
Okay.
All right. Mbeche is in the house. You put your question online. We're going to be talking to him today. See you after the break.
The church is back at Uhuru Park. The chairman of the Standing Strong Ministers Conference, Apostle Othenio Mwabili, and the conference convener, Apostle David Juma, together with the Executive Planning Committee, invites all church leaders, students leaders, marketplace and corporate leaders to the 2024 Kenya edition of the Standing Strong Ministers Conference, taking place from Tuesday 9th to Friday 12th July 2024 at Uhuru Park Gardens, Nairobi, with leadership sessions running from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily and open sessions from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. daily. The theme for this year's conference is Strengthening Your Brethren, drawn from Luke 22 verse 32. Ministering will be guest ministers Bishop Thomas Muthe from Kenya.
Your wickedness, that's no reason to give. There is a God who begins from the void.
Bishop Stanley Molili from Kenya.
A transformational church must grow smaller as it grows bigger.
Apostle Yemi Adefarasin from Nigeria.
God is looking for people that are his representatives who understand their redemptive destiny and purpose.
And Bishop Joseph Matera from USA.
You can bring heaven, you can manifest glory wherever you are.
And the host, Apostle David Juma and Pastor Sunday Juma.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving from the one powerful anointed minister to the corporate body.
The church was birthed by the Holy Ghost, and the works of God can only be done by the Holy Ghost.
Find registration forms on our social media platforms. For more information, kindly call 0722 669651. The 2024 Kenya edition of the Standing Strong Ministers Conference. Don't miss out on this great opportunity of strengthening for your ministry work ahead. See you there. This conference is organized by various churches and is open to the whole body of Christ.
Welcome back. Sam Mbeche is in the house and he's talking about eyes. Please get your guys. You know, we don't take care of our eyes today. We must live with something today. Sam, there is Madanga.
Yes,
Madanga is saying, Sam the goat.
That's a good
the
guy.
goat of adventure. Madanga is a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Shout
The
out
energy
to Madanga.
is amazing.
Energy, and that guy is good.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. There's Catherine here, she's saying, powerful conversation.
Thank you.
Eyes, my friend. You were talking about eyes, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who, I mean, eyes, we don't look at them. You know, when you hear you have an eye condition, it's like you have a death sentence.
Yeah, people get scared, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but when they are told they have an eye pressure or not, blood pressure issue.
You know, you doctors, eh?
No
You use very, very, very technical language. The moment you say it, yani mtu ana lose hope too.
No, really, no, really. The whole fear, it's because we are not aware. Something we know or something you know, you're actually never scared about. When you hear about a puncture, it's a puncture.
Yeah.
But what if it's your first time? You see your wheel, you know, just reducing pressure.
You're going to call police.
You're like, the car is gone. You actually call your insurance, my car is, you know.
Yeah.
But when you know, you actually know the, you know, the consequences or the, you know, whatever, and you know what to do.
Yeah. Tell me about awareness. Because you see, there's very little aware. In fact, if you ask me right now, when I was preparing for you for this show, I was just thinking, who or have I ever come into a place where I am in awareness about eye care? And I realized I have never come to a place where there is awareness, and I think that's where we are going wrong.
Yeah.
And what is your organization doing? I mean, you guys are an organization, I believe.
Where I work for?
No, I mean, you have an umbrella.
Yeah, we are really doing...
and I think even in the calendar, there's an eye month, something eye care month.
Yes, we usually have different days and for different issues. Like there's glaucoma week.
In fact, maybe the only campaign I've ever heard of eye care was that one of, what did we call
Cataract?
Cataract, yes. And that
Yeah,
I was in
it's
high
very
school.
common.
I remember I was in high school.
Yeah.
And because of where I was, you know, I got in contact with some data, you know, some magazine, some people were running it around. I think it was Lions or something, or running it on cataract. That's the first and the last I've ever heard.
Lions, they've been doing a good job, even on
Yeah, it's true.
charity.
It's true. It's true.
Because, you know, Lions, being an eye hospital, and they're under Lions International, which is doing charity mostly.
No, those guys do well. I think give credit where
that's true, exactly.
Yeah, give credit. Yeah. So I mean, that's the last campaign I ever had. So are there other campaigns?
So there are campaigns, but now the issue is usually the attention, and the people are never interested in that, you know, because when you don't know something.
My friend, if we have campaigns, huku hata za perfume bana, huku kuna campaigns mpaka za
not big really. Honestly, the only campaign I remember is when I was in school. Because we are optometry students, we could actually go walk out with placards. But that's a very small place.
That's a very small population.
Yeah, exactly, and they know these are students anyway.
Now, at the national level or government level,
have
you ever seen anything?
I've not seen any, honestly.
So what does that say? Because you see, that's you know, even silence is a language.
Silence is a language. The whole reason is the number of practitioners in the country. We have a very bad ratio. I can't remember, but it could be like 1 to 100,000.
Sure.
Yes. For the longest time we've had...
You must be a marginalized community.
So for the longest time we've had ophthalmologists, very few actually, who graduate from the medical schools, and very few people are interested in ophthalmic, eye care. So these people are sent to various hospitals, like your one in maybe a county.
Oh.
Yes. So for the longest time, then they've tried to increase the numbers. And then now, Brenold and Vision Institute in Australia, which was doing charity and it's an eye care organization. They were like, what do we do in Africa? Of course, you'll be taking people, taking spectacles, taking people to check them, but what is the long term? So they sponsored universities in Africa to start, they brought actually resources and even human resource to actually train people.
Oh.
So I'm one of the beneficiaries.
Wow.
So Kenya, we had Masinde Muliro University. Malawi, we had Muzizi University. And now, actually, we have one coming up in Uganda. It's been like 3 years or 4 years now. Makerere University.
That means your population is very low.
Very low. It's a virgin industry in the country.
The other thing is that
Africa.
Your services, they are so critical, so needed, yet you are in your smallest region.
And the funny thing is, even when the services are required, or let's say the people really need them, it's very sad to note that optometrists are not absorbed into the government.
Really?
Yes, they're not.
Nikuprintie placard ukitoka hapa.
So again, it's funny because we have very funny fights coming up between not eye care practitioners but healthcare professionals.
So and why is this?
Not knowing optometry, what optometry is, people think these are just opticians. You've seen opticians for the longest time in the market, to give you spectacles out there.
By the way, the key thing, when you talk about eye care, is optician.
Yeah, that's what we've known. We've known opticians. But opticianary entails lenses, which is very okay because they are very keen on the society because they've been actually very helpful in the society. But now you go into preventable blindness. Opticians solve the refractive error issue whereby you get spectacles because that's number one. Some people have really bad errors, they can see. But you come into cataracts, we need an ophthalmologist or a clinical officer who've done ophthalmic, clinical officer to excise the cataract, to remove the cataract and
surgeries.
Yes, exactly. You come here, you have all issues, eye infections, refractive error, you don't know what you're going through. An optometrist is the primary eye care doctor, is a general. So the optometrist knows, I refract this one, they have an refractive error, I've given spectacles, they're done. This one has come, I'm trying my best, spectacles can't help. Actually, in optometry school, spectacles are the last resort.
Oh.
Number one, someone comes in, they're complaining about headaches, issues with reading, accommodation issues. They're actually exercises you do with the eyes to improve the same. So you come in, you have an infection, I'll treat it. You know, you come in, I see you have a cataract, I refer you to the right person. You come in, you have a cornea issue, I refer you to the corneal surgeon. You know, it's specific so that we actually, not me trying to do everything,
yeah.
you know, and mess you in the end trying to prove a point, you know.
Yeah.
So, but now optometrists are not in the government, so ophthalmologists they're doing everything, and they can do everything, of course.
So what's the future?
I don't know about the future, but I hope people will be sober enough to actually do the right thing. And I call upon all eye care practitioners. Some people, people have lost really a lot of, they've lost hope because of how they're being treated out there. They resort to doing something else. I've seen many optometrists, you finish school, you're not absorbed to the government, you look at the employment, because you have an association, not even what do you call them? You just have an association which can't protect you enough. So people opt out to go do business and stuff. There's a lot of skill or eye care skill that is out there that is being not being used.
Yeah, because now, you know, in fact, these organizations that are there, we call them unions.
Yeah.
Some of them, not all of them, but some of them really, I don't think they live up to what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
And so they frustrate. I want to ask you, through your initiatives, when you see all those problems, all those things, you can see the challenges, you can see what your colleagues are going through, your industry is going through. In your view, what would you advise, number one, government, number two, those associations or unions, because I think there's a place I find unions to be a bit interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So the government, of course, needs to do something. And talking about the root issue, I mean, the government won't be having an issue if the union had an agreement.
Yes.
As you come together. So like the KMPDU.
You want to tell me you all fall under KMPDU?
They don't recognize optometrists.
Oh, they don't.
Something being new, they're like, where did that come from? But it's all worldwide. You look at the optometry council in the world, go to the US, go to the UK, it's big.
Yeah.
It's big. But now, even that's why the Australian Union, whatever, saw the need in Africa. And of course, when you go anywhere, you won't. That's why people actually are opting not to go to any place. As long as they know it's a viable optometrist, they go there. Of course, that's a credible person to sort you out. But people don't know. They'll go to a nurse, they'll go to a general clinic officer, who will just think like...
Amazing. My mind is just thinking. We know, like, if you talk about surgery, you'll be told this is a best surgeon in neuro, this is the best surgeon in this.
Yeah, you are referred actually to
a specific...
Specific to do the job.
Do we have that kind of optometrist?
So optometry entails mostly primary, meaning there's I'll call them kids specialists, There are old people specialists. There are people who deal with accommodation issues. And so geriatric for old people, pediatric for kids. You'll go for basic primary, who does everything and refers to the right person. But now when it comes to surgery, you see this eye, medical doctor who's finished university, 6 years, they'll go to an ophthalmology school. And they're going to major into one thing only. It's either the cornea, it's either the retina inside. The cornea is the black part, the retina inside. Some will just go general, that is okay. And some will be into how the eye looks, who works with the plastic surgeons and everything. So it's a very wide thing, of course. They're specialists. That's why when you have high pressure issues, I'm not going to send you to a cataract surgeon. I'm sending you to a glaucoma specialist.
Wow. Tell me, Mbeche,
Yeah.
when you look at that and you hear this brain drain, people going out of the country because, I mean, you become American, you say, I gotta eat.
Yeah.
What do you say? Because really, when you're telling me the frustrations that you're facing, you know, and you're trained professional, then you're not able to exercise your training. You have a passion, you have a desire for your people. What comes into your mind?
Personally, I've been wanting to do it, and I'm doing it in whichever way I can. So it's to encourage whoever is in this sector to actually keep pushing. If we come together, if we really have a vision, then we can do it, no matter what. Of course, there are people who are out here who've taken up the industry, who took up the industry because it wasn't regulated, and they're trying to control and preventing you from getting in, you know, because they've seen money, they've seen everything. They're like, no, if they come in, but people, the optometrists or whatever practitioners are coming in to make it accessible, to make it easy for everyone to access it. But someone is out there thinking they lose business. So that's the whole issue now.
It's a business thing.
Yeah.
When you think about what you're doing,
Yeah.
and I want to look at the money, I mean, the funds you raise, the support you raise. Like now, the one you raised, your trip, you know, 30, is it 10 or 13 countries?
10 countries.
10 countries. You raise some level of support, and when you help some people, what goes into you when you see somebody you've helped someone?
I think I get satisfaction and happiness when I see someone smile. I tell you, it was like in Zambia, we laughed for like an hour, full hour. There's a man who did, like, when he could read, you know, basically just reading. Like, he actually laughed and went to bring the friends and actually to see that he can read. He couldn't believe.
Wow.
He was like, this guy came all the way from Kenya to make me aware that I need basic reading classes.
Gee.
We are all happy. I was actually late for my whatever trip, you know, I had timings and everything.
Yeah.
But the happiness there, like, this is actually a day made, you know.
Amazing.
Let's be happy.
Amazing. We are city people. You know, we live in the city, the skyscrapers, the traffic. But think about somebody in Northeastern is very vast. Very vast. Very vast.
True.
I have a friend who was telling me, even where his station was, he had to travel like a week. And he had to wait for those lorries that come to buy cattle,
because
then sit on top of them
together.
Because then they are going slowly. They go station, get cattle, put it in, go for a whole week, because there's no other transport. You either use a donkey or that.
Excellent.
And there are people there, and without mentioning tribes.
True.
And that report, I'm just referring to the report I told you about. And they are saying most of them don't use electricity.
They don't.
They don't use, so they have those weeks. You know, those weeks, maybe we're in a generation, group of schools, you know. I don't know what's a week. You know, a week. I used to see my grandmother with a week.
Yeah, I know where you put and you
like a blanket. In fact, you have everything.
No, we had it. I think I'm used to it.
Even a bottle, you know, a bottle, fuel.
Yeah, up and it's lighting.
Yeah. And the whole night, the smoke is that.
Yeah.
And actually, in that writing, they were actually discouraging that. And so these are people who, they have no option.
Man, I know.
So do you think these people will get this kind of information down there? Or,
it's sad. It's a sad reality. Not just Kenya. I tell you, I've seen places inaccessible in Africa. Yes, that's why I did the ride, and my ride was mostly to get into the most rural areas. And I used to think actually Kenya is lagging behind. Kenya is ahead. Kenya is very developed.
Kenya is developed. I've also been to some of those places.
Man, you actually wonder, not even just eye care. People don't access a lot of things. People just live, just wake up and live and hope to live. Kids out there, they don't know what other kids, like they don't know what is going out there.
Yeah.
So yes, that being the main issue. You know, in the city, I wouldn't be minded. People have conversations. The exposure is there. People, of course, you've walked by, you've seen an eye clinic. But when you go out there, if you live in Nairobi, honestly, most of the eye hospitals are in Nairobi. That's a fact, right?
Yeah.
You go out there, there's none. People have to travel. And for this inclusivity to happen, you see, when a medical doctor graduates, some are sent into the most rural areas. Reason is to get everyone at least where they can actually access even with a bicycle. At least there's one location in a county. But this medical doctor is not going to do it all. We need different areas to be, covered. So optometrists are being trained. We have even KMTC training optometrists.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, why can't we send them out there? I know young people, they don't have, attachments, families holding them. Mostly young. They can go work there. They can go make a change. But the people are not ready for that. The government is not ready for that. The union, which is under the medical practitioners, is not accommodating them.
What?
You see, it's ourselves, making it hard for ourselves. The same people who are fighting you, their people are suffering in the villages. So, man-eat-man society.
It's a man-eat-man society.
When I went to a place like Namibia, Namibia has a very small population, yet it's bigger than even UK.
Yes, I hear it.
Like 2.6 million, whatever. But you look at what they're doing, their structures.
Man, that place,
it's amazing.
It's actually a desert, but I tell you the things you see.
The healthcare, they're including and sending everywhere. I was going to a place nowhere and you could see a placard, eye clinic, not eye clinic, clinic or hospital ahead. You're like, where is this hospital? They've actually thought, and they have numbers on the roadsides. If there's an emergency, call this number. And trust me, they're very ready. Botswana, make a call. Not even 5 minutes will go. There's a biker who got an accident in Botswana. The government covered for the even medical costs. A random biker from not a Botswana or a Setswana, whatever. So some countries are actually doing it.
So it's actually a way we must pull up our resolve. Eh?
Yeah.
Local communities. Like when you went into communities now and you would see these people, my goodness, and you see this is something that can be done.
This is it, yeah.
And you don't have the ability to do it. And I'm just looking at, you have these people, this is nothing to walk about. This is something that can be done, but then you don't have the resources yourself. You're not a government, you're not a county, you are not. What does that make you feel?
You kind of feel like you failed. You're trying your best, but you can't, because honestly, like in this venture, the resources I had were very minimal. I could go to a place, start helping, or start sorting out issues, and you realize it's like the whole community needs the help.
Oh my!
So when they come, you actually have to. I had to say everything is done. Like I don't have anything left, because I'm going to other places, So you help one person, the rest are very sad. But you have to stop, because that mission could actually end there. I had to stop, honestly, most at times.
So basically you're saying if people would come in for such a cause, there will be so much impact.
There is so much. I know even the organization that have tried doing it, they know. They actually have to limit themselves, because there's a lot of need out there. Yes, it is too.
Amazing. What is the future of your initiatives?
So I plan to bring in more people, bring in more organizations, like-minded optometrists, like-minded bikers, and I mean, go out there, try to get an impact, to touch lives, you know. So I'm actually planning to go big locally first.
I mean, does that mean you need to create a fund or something, because you can't do this on your own?
I know. So yes, plans. I've been thinking every day. I actually think about it. I actually remember places. I'm like, man, like the places you mentioned north of Kenya. I've seen bikers doing rides there.
Kitu tuite bana.
Yeah?
Tuite bana, tukuje.
Yes, lazima tukue pamoja tufanye hii kitu pamoja.
Lazima tukue watu wengi, because
Yeah.
I'm just thinking in my mind, I'm thinking what impact that could cause, because you see some of the money is being wasted around in very
A lot
interesting
by there, yeah.
interesting things that people can take care of. But then you see that's a very you know somebody being able to see. Do you know what that means?
Man, yeah, just not even just able to see. Just imagine not being able to see.
Yeah, the darkness. And I mean, I'm just thinking about it, and I'm saying that is bigger impact.
I usually see how people are usually scared.
So what are the things you normally need? We know some people may say this young man wants money to buy a Benz.
No, so mine is very specific. So I need to be able to see the kind of probable error that you have in your eyes.
No. I want you to look at the camera. What is the support you need? You know, sometimes we may be saying you need money, and it's not money you need.
No, actually, I mostly need equipment and, you know, like the medications, those supplies around eye care. So there are people who need spectacles, the larger population. Some need money to be booked for surgeries, like cataract surgeries. Of course, you're not going to, I won't order lenses. Those are professionals who have them. There's some people, you know, eye care is big. A diabetic person is an eye care client. An hypertension client, or whatever person is an eye care client or eye care needy. So like diabetes affects eyes majorly.
Yes.
Number one reason why people lose vision is because when the sugars are like high, what happens is everything is the solution, like the blood is high concentrated. So what happens, it sucks most water and gets into your eye. A lot happens. It's like blood pressure. The vessels in the eye rupture as well. You lose vision. So that's why this fight or this venture or this mission is not just optometrist. It's someone who does diabetes alone. And they're doing a very great job in eye care. Because when you do a photo and you find a lot of blood in the eye, I have to send it to someone. First, regulate this diabetes. First, regulate this blood pressure.
Wow. You know, we don't have whole day. We have to come to a place and
so yeah, we need support, and the support will come in when everyone brings whatever they can.
Yeah.
If you have human resource, if you have the skills, bring it out. If you can donate
I want you to, for a
equipment.
minute, about a volunteers, you know, what you do. Do you train volunteers to do what you do?
Yes, so whenever I find, especially people, whoever has a medical background, who is an easier person, like you find a nurse, nurses can do everything, can do anything. So there are things that actually check, like the way I've stated, check blood pressure, check blood sugar. They're doing it, so they're actually aiding eye care. You find a teacher, especially teachers are very key. If they make students or whoever they're teaching aware of what they need to do, if they see this, it's normal, it's not normal, then that is a win already. If you're aware, that's a win. So these conversations have been going wide to everyone.
You know, I'm just thinking about something. I think aloud. There's a medical camp coming, and I'm going to connect them with you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to connect them with you. What is, you know, we have to close.
Yeah.
I want you to talk in a minute the importance of connecting passion, you know, your passions with your purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are living a very, I won't call it short, but you never know when. And so as long as you are living, whatever you're doing to be happy, whatever makes you happy, I think it's very important for you to make use of it and impact lives using it. So if you enjoy doing something, make someone smile through that thing.
Amazing.
You will gain a smile as well.
I want us to begin to wrap up.
Okay.
Your parting shots is like, this is what you want to tell somebody who, first of all, has eye problems and they have been afraid to go to be checked, and those who have good eyes. And closing remarks.
I mean, the eyes are the window to the soul. So if you really care about yourself, care about your friends, you care about your family, encourage everyone to go for an eye checkup. Let them know their status. Yes.
And those with good eyes, take care of them.
And those with good eyes, don't think you have good eyes. Get them checked as well.
I want to stay updated with your progress, your campaign. How does one get there? What are your contacts, socials, and all that?
So I go by the alias the Wandering Wasp.
Yeah.
So,
when I got, I wanted to know the wasp. The wasp. I want to know the Wandering Wasp.
Yes. So a wasp is always moving.
Yeah, it's always moving.
I'm one person who whenever I start moving, I'm always moving.
Yeah.
So I think that fits me. So you can search on Facebook, Samuel Mbeche, the Wandering Wasp. Instagram, the Wandering Wasp. TikTok, the Wandering Wasp. And Twitter, Samuel Mbeche.
Well, let me tell you, I think we need to have a whole day with you.
Clearly.
And, next time we're going to park your bike here.
Yes.
We must park that bike here.
We'll bring it here.
And see, because we must talk about it. Yeah. So it's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you for just honoring our call and our invitation, just to talk about passion, riding for a cause. Yeah. I want to thank you.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, that's all we could have. Sam was in the house. And remember, when is the next game?
The next game for rugby? 7th is coming up in July, end July.
July, of course, July is our seventh month.
Yeah.
So please be there. We'll be cheering Sam. But remember this, keep it elevate. We are here to create content just for you to ensure that the kingdom is being increased. God bless you. Have yourself a wonderful day.